everybody! So today I decided to take it outside where it's slightly lighter, and I figure it's a nice day. It's like 5 o'clock on a Monday after work, but no, it's a Tuesday. Wow. I've got the Mondays. So it's 5 o'clock, May 1st, on a Tuesday, and I figure I got out of work. It's still really nice out. Trying not to make my face go too much in the sun. I thought I'd do my April favorites, like, right on time this month. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I have two makeup items. One is the Profusion Day Face palette. It's eye-in face makeup. It comes with a brush. My friend actually got this for me. It's got like a mirror on the inside, and this is what it looks like. It's got your bronzer, highlight, eye shades, and then for eyeshadows. So I actually really like this, and the brush is actually not bad. I used like the fluffy end to buff colors into my crease, and then I use the smaller end for my eyebrows. It's not the most precise eyebrow tool in the entire world, but it does the job for me because I'm not very detailed. I don't have a lot of like brow hairs on the edge of like on the end of my eyebrows, so I don't typically color my eyebrows in anyway. So I just use like the darker shade in the front, and I use the lighter shade towards the middle edge, I guess. It did come with like a small face brush, but I threw that out. I don't know where it went. So my friend actually got that for me for Christmas, so you probably can't actually get that little kit. However, this is like a new thing for me. Like, I have neighbors who, if they look over at me, I just look crazy, like I'm talking to myself. However, the Profusion makeup itself I really enjoyed, so I think that I'm going to try some more from that brand and see if I've heard really good things. So, and that's exactly what I told her too when she got it for me for Christmas. It's like, oh my god, I've been meaning to try this brand. I've heard such good things. I believe you can get it at Target. I think it's a Target brand. Next makeup item I have, it's what I'm wearing on my lips right now. It's a gloss, and it's a little sticky. It's a little gel-like. It's the Urban Decay Revolution glosses. I don't even know if they still have these. I had this one in Failbait like a year and a half ago, and then I lost it, and then I found it again at Nordstrom Rack. So they might not still have this line of lip glosses, but you can still find it at Nordstrom Rack, I'm pretty sure. I love this. I have another one called Brook House, and it's a really nice red color, but this one's just so perfect for spring because it's so springy pink that it's perfect, and it doesn't stick to your hair or anything like that. I really enjoyed this lip gloss, and I'm so glad I was able to find this color again because it's my absolute favorite. So the next makeup-y product that I have been absolutely loving for the past couple of months is this Beauty 360 Advanced Gel Nail Polish Remover. I like this because it's not 100%, but it's 96% acetone, and it takes my nail polish off so quickly. Like, it's so much better than those other crappy ones that are like mostly just rubbing alcohol. This one's really nice, and it's supposed to be like strengthening for your nails. And apparently it's in the scent Juniper Burst, but I would not recommend smelling this. I really like it. You can find it at CVS. My mom got this for me like a year ago for Christmas, and I'm only now just like reaching the end. It's really good. You only need one cotton round. You barely need to soak it, and you just one swipe and your nail polish comes right off, and I love it. I have not tried it with gel. I'm sure it works just fine when you do like the scrapey thing and you cover your nails with tin foil. I don't know. My next favorite. This is like a love-hate kind of thing with me. I like it, at the same time I don't think I'll buy it again. It's the Micellar Cleansing Water from Garnier Fructis, and it's just the one that's all-in-one mattifying. It's supposed to cleanse and purify pores. I don't know about that. I just know that it doesn't really take my mascara off the way I want it to. So for that, I don't think I will be purchasing this again. I really want to try the Bioderma. I've heard really good things about that. So that one might be my next purchase. But this one's like, as a regular, just micellar water for cleansing my face in the morning and at night. I like it. Lastly, in the hands category, lastly in the makeup, skincare category, I have this hand soap that I got at Bath and Body Works. I always want to say, oh, I'm like scratching my eye makeup. I always want to say Bed Bath & Beyond when I mean Bath & Body Works and vice versa, and it drives me crazy. But it is this Bath & Body Works Manoi Oil Hand Soap, and this is the one in Mango Mai Tai. I really just needed hand soap because we ran out, and I was like, hey, I'll get some Bath & Body Works hand soap. I found this and I love it. It smells so good. It feels so moisturizing. Like, my hands still feel moisturized because of the Manoi oil in it. I love this. I think I might get some more. And I remember I grabbed it and the guy was like, oh, it's 6 for $26. I was like, I don't need 6. I literally just need this one. Just this one. My cat's crying for me. That's another one of my favorites this month is my cat, because I just adopted him and he's so stinking cute and I love him so much. I will insert a picture somewhere, probably not on the screen with me here, but like in a cutaway screen. So yeah, you'll get to see him. He's super cute. His name's Leo and he's a little orange tabby. I say little, he's morbidly obese. But, well, not morbid, you know. Alright, my next favorite's totally random. It is gardening. These specifically are herbs and lavender, which I think it might be an herb. But I love all gardening. I'll insert a picture of my seeds that I started, and I'm going to be planting them in my garden that me and TJ are making. And I went ham. Like, this is my new obsession is herbs, but my very first obsession was flowers and vegetables, but now I have to plant these in an herb garden. I'm very excited. Except for lavender, does not grow for me. But I'm hoping this one will, because the ones I tried to plant were like in special like seed casings that are supposed to be beneficial for the plant. I don't know, and I didn't start it right, so maybe these will work better. I don't know. Before we get on to the books I've been reading this month, my food favorite of the month is hummus. And I never ever get the big tubs of hummus. This month I did. I'm only like halfway through. I'm probably going to finish this after this video. But it's my absolute favorite. This one is just the Cedars brand. I think it was just the cheapest one. But I love hummus. It makes me feel like I am being healthy. So can't go wrong with that. Okay, now for the long haul, the books I've been reading this month. So I went a little crazy, like I do every month with the books. So if I don't start now, this video is going to be like forever long. So yeah, the books I've been reading. Not in any particular order. This first one is Murder at Whitehall, and this is like kind of like an adolescent murder mystery set in the Elizabethan era. I like it a lot. And it's a part of a series, and I don't know if I'm going to get the other series, but I think I might keep this one because it was a good read. I liked it. I think my friend would really like it too, so I might let her borrow it. And that was by Amanda Carmack. So, Murder at Whitehall, Amanda Carmack. Really enjoyed it. This next one is called The Barbarians Volume 1, Children of the Plains, by Paul Thompson and Tanya Cook. I really like this. I could not put this book down. I zoomed through this. It's about these two humans, and their family gets attacked when they're younger, and then they kind of get separated, and he ends up with this dragon, and she ends up with her own like plainsman tribe, and she's like the queen of them, kind of. And then towards the end of the book, they kind of like reunite, and it's one of those things where it's like a long time coming. You're like, okay, so when is that going to happen? And then it happens, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I called it. But it's actually a really good read. They do a really good job in this book. There's someone smoking a cigarette 2 houses down, and now I'm like, She can probably see me and hear me. It's okay. Okay, this book that I read is called In Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Um, the name of it must be Love Finds You. I didn't realize that I didn't really have a name. Oh, okay, so it's Love Finds You in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts by Melody Carlson. I will not be keeping this. I liked it, but it was just very Nicholas Sparks, and it's not Nicholas Sparks, so I prefer Nicholas Sparks. This one was just okay overall. It's about a girl who she works as an art, like, what's the word? She fixes art, and in Chicago, and her mom calls her and said on a really bad line, like she can hardly hear her. She's like, "Oh, we bought this place. It's called the Gallery. Do you want to work for us?" And she's like, "We'll pay you. You can live above the gallery, blah, blah, blah." So she thinks it's an art gallery. It's not an art gallery. It's, what are they called? It's an arcade that's called the Gallery. I don't know why. But the whole thing is that she finds love in Martha's Vineyard, and she reunites her ties with her mother. It's very sweet, very Nicholas Sparks. I love Nicholas Sparks, but the writing just wasn't up to par. This next one is a super flop. It's like the only flop that I have in this entire video. It's such a flop that I didn't even read past like the first 2 pages, but it's edited by PC Cast, and it's got like a bunch of different like authors, but it's called Immortal Love Stories with a Bite. I grabbed this because I thought it would be good. Like Twilight good, not like Anne Rice good, but like at least on par with the original Twilight book, which I actually kind of liked. These sucked. I couldn't force myself to read it. It was horrible. The first story is a vampire falls in love with a ghost, but another vampire falls in love with him and tries to kill everyone. It's super strange and horrible. So I'm getting rid of this, and I'm actually very disappointed because I love vampire books, not in like a Jacob or Edward kind of way. No, like I like vampire stories, and this wasn't up to par. I do prefer Anne Rice over Twilight. Let's make that clear. But I do like some teen romance vampire books as well, just not this. Alright. Next book that I'm probably getting rid of. This is by Jack Kavanaugh. It's Glimpses of Truth. It's a story about a boy who is really smart, set like way back when, during like the times of King Richard, and he's working on a English translation of the Bible, and a bishop shows up, and he's like, he pretends to advocate for the kid, and he's like, "Oh, let's go to Rome, and you can, bring your Bible," and the whole thing is like, "Oh, we're gonna let you plead your case for the Bible," and because this is when the English translation was heretical, and it ends up not being what he thought it was going to be. The Cardinals burn his book, and then this whole thing ensues where he's trying to get back home, and it's just, it was a good book, not the best book. And I don't know what it is with me and like picking up religious books by complete happenstance. Like I don't know why. At the library book sale, I just gravitate towards the religious ones, and it's not even like the stories are that catching. This one I liked it. I'm not gonna keep it. Gonna give it away. This one I'm keeping. Not my favorite Dan Brown book, but this is The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown, and it's part of the series with, what's his name? Robert Langdon. The Da Vinci Code series. It's not actually all linked together, but he does mention his other trips to like Rome and Italy and stuff like that in this book. Well, Rome and France, I guess. Because it's the same character, he's got the same experiences from book to book to book. It wasn't my favorite read. Definitely, I don't know. It was set in DC, and it was just really weird. Like, it was one of those things where there's a good guy, but you don't know it's a good guy until the end. And then towards the end, you kind of put it together. You go, oh, I know who the bad guy is. And you really know who the bad guy is the entire book. Like, you could, some chapters are from his perspective, but you don't know who he is and what his history is until you get to the end. And if you put it together, it's like, oh, called it. But if you didn't, it could, maybe it's like a surprise. But I just, oh, I kind of wish they made this into a movie. I know that they were going to, and then they decided not to, and they did Inferno instead. But this would have been really cool. I just don't know how they would have done the immersion tank scene. If you read it, you'll know what that means. I liked it. I'm keeping it. I love Dan Brown. I'm keeping all the Dan Brown books I can find. Speaking of Dan Brown, Angels and Demons. This one was good. Much better than the movie. The movie was horrible. I read the movie first. I liked this one a lot. They do a relatively good job of making the bad guy not seem like a bad guy during the entire book, and it's really hard to do that with some books, because sometimes I feel like you make the bad guy into the good guy, and then you have to turn them into the bad guy and be like, ha, they were the bad guy all along. But the transition is so choppy that it's like you just needed a bad guy and you just decided to turn him. That's how I feel about Elsa, like in the movie Frozen. That's how I feel about Hans? Yes. That's how I feel about Hans. Because it's like, oh shoot, Elsa was supposed to be the bad guy. Let's just do Hans. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. Because he was a total 180. It was super weird. Anyway. Getting off track. This was okay. I didn't really like the ending. A little funky. I liked it, but it wasn't as good as the Da Vinci Code. This is another flop. I'm getting rid of it. This is the Star Wars, the prequel trilogy. It's all three. It's The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. I could not even read Revenge of the Sith. It was that bad. And they're all written by someone different, because they're all just adaptations of the movie. Like, the movie came first, and then they wrote the books. And the first two are pretty much verbatim the movie. Like, they pretty much just word for word the movie. The third one, the thing that I couldn't get over with the third book was there'd be a few paragraphs in the chapter in Obi-Wan's, like, point of view, and then the next paragraph would be like, this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, why the narrating? Why the narration? Why? And then it would go to Anakin's point of view, and then a couple paragraphs down, this is Anakin Skywalker, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why? We don't need it. And then there's a fight scene. I ended at the fight scene with, oh god, what's his name? I don't remember. Count Dooku. There's a, like, fight scene between Count Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, and I couldn't. The dialogue was horrible. They narrated literally everything, and then I was like, oh, let me watch this fight scene. They took like 30 pages to describe a 3-minute fight scene. And I was like, no, I can't do this. So I'm just getting rid of this whole thing. I was very excited to have the trilogy. It's horrible. I don't like it. No, I'm giving it away. No. The last book that I have is by Emily Bronte, and it's Wuthering Heights. I like this book. Actually, this is the first time I was able to force myself to read the whole thing. It's a little weird. The story's a little odd. But I watched the Netflix original series of Wuthering Heights with, God, what's that actor's name? Oh, he's really famous. He's like British or something. He's in This Means War with, I can't think of anyone's name. Anyway, there was a 3-episode series of Wuthering Heights on Netflix, and I watched it, and I liked it, so I thought I'd read the book, because I tried reading the book, like, a couple years ago, and I just couldn't get through it. I couldn't get through it all. It's super weird, but I really like this one, so I'm glad I pushed myself, because it's a good book. I'm keeping this one. So those are all of my April favorites. They're a little everywhere, not very cohesive, but it's what I've been liking this one. So yeah, and I'm glad I actually got this one up on time because I'm bad about that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope this wasn't too terribly boring for you. I hope you like books because that's mostly what my favorites are. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye!